This week we look at number 6 in our series on managing for the Master until he comes. This is entitled Laying Up Treasure in Heaven. And of course that takes us straight away to those words of Jesus in Matthew, and this is chapter 6, verse 19. Don't pile up wealth here on earth where moths and rust ruin it and where thieves break in and steal it. Instead, you should store up your wealth in heaven, where moths and rust don't ruin it, and where thieves don't break in and steal it. For what you value the most shows who you really are. Of course, that's a slightly different translation to the way you've normally heard it, because usually you hear about where your treasure is, that's where your heart will be also. But let's put it really into words that we can understand and be very committed to in our world today. What you value the most shows who you really are, because where you've invested your time, your money, your talents, your resources, that really shows what you care about, what you really value. And in that sense, it says, this is who I am. And as we look at the material in our notes for this time, they're in Genesis, Hebrews, 2 Corinthians, and Hebrews again, Mark. A lot of good ideas about investing in the right things in this world, and most of all, investing in things which are spiritual, which is what it really means when you say laying up treasure in heaven. It's not trying to gain brownie points or trying to invest in some kind of credit that you might have there in the kingdom. No, it's trying to say, well, what really matters is the spiritual aspects in your life now and how they will play out in the life to come. And I want to concentrate on those kinds of ideas. There's quotes there in our notes for this time. This one from Randy Alcorn. When Jesus warns us not to store up treasures on earth, it's not just because wealth might be lost. It's because wealth will always be lost. Think about that line. Either it leaves us while we live, or we leave it when we die. No exceptions. Realizing its value is temporary should radically affect our investment strategy. According to Jesus, storing up earthly treasures isn't simply wrong, it's just plain stupid. And people will probably laugh at that and say, no, you have to have your investment strategy. You need to have a financial portfolio and so on. Well, I don't. And I don't worry about what the stock market is doing. I don't wake up in the morning and check what the shares have been doing overnight in Asia or whatever. I don't have anything like that. And I'm not saying that as a virtue, but because I've chosen to invest things in different ways, in different places, particularly in our family, in the place where we live, so that we can truly experience God's blessings in this life. Yes, you need to have some backup. You need to have something in the bank for the rainy day, which often comes, it seems. But most of all, we want to be thinking about, how do I really show who I am by where I put my resources? So I don't want to die with anything much in the bank, I'll be honest. And I want to be remembered. Well, I can't be remembered as a great philanthropist. I haven't been able to give much away. What we've done the best we can with and helped those we really see in need. What I really think God is telling us is to think spiritually about how we live day to day. What is the most important thing that I do with my time, my talents, my money, all that God has blessed me with? Because if we're only using it for selfish gratification, what does that say about who we are? So the question for this week is, yes, I have some resources from God. What am I going to do with them? And in what way am I showing what I value the very most?